नमस्कार. आज आमच्या गोंयकारा तुका सलाम या कार्यावळींत आमच्या बरोबर आसा गोंयचे एक भोवमानेस्त बाब अनिश केणी, जे जावन आसा प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ गोवा रग्बी एंड वायस प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ गोवा इंटरनॅशनल टच रग्बी फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया. अनिश, हांव तुका पयल्यान पयलो एक प्रश्न विचारता. रग्बी हो खेळ तुका आवडलो आणि तूं रग्बी कडेन गेलो जाल्यार फॉर द फर्स्ट टायम वेन डीड यू कम अक्रॉस रग्बी?
हांव एक्चुअली इंग्लंडान आसतालो तेन्ना हांव कॉलेजान आशिल्लो थंय, आनी जेन्ना हांव ग्रावंड आय यूज टू वॉक टू द युनिवर्सिटी हांव जेन्ना चलतालो, आय यूज टू सी दीस प्लेयर्स प्लेइंग अ व्हेरी नायस गेम विच आय यूज टू इनिशियली वॉच ऑन टेलिविजन. आतां हांव चिंतलो की वाय कांट इवन आय बी अ पार्ट ऑफ दीस गेम, आनी तेन्ना हांव ग्रावंडार गेलो. आय एम अबाउट 6'2" ऑलमोस्ट, आनी ग्रावंडार आय वॉज स्टील स्मॉल कम्पेर्ड टू मोस्ट ऑफ द इंटरनॅशनल्स दॅट प्ले दीस गेम. सो हांव तो सिस्टम जॉयन केलो तेंचो, एंड आय स्टार्टेड प्लेइंग द गेम ऑफ रग्बी. आनी आमचो जो कॅप्टन आशिल्लो ही वॉज ऑलमोस्ट 7 feet टॉल. सो यू कॅन इमॅजीन जे सॉर्ट ऑफ डेव्हलपमेंट चलता तेंचे, द सॉर्ट ऑफ एक्टिविटी दॅट गोज इन टू तेंचे फिजिकल डेव्हलपमेंट इन्क्लुडींग मेंटल डेव्हलपमेंट. आनी आय रियलायज जो कोऑर्डिनेशन आसा बिटवीन द मायंड and the body, it's quite intriguing. It's something आसा जे आमकां हेल्प करूं शकता, आमकां गोंयकारांक सुद्दां हेल्प करूं शकता.
आतां जशें म्हाका खबर आसा की पयली रग्बी गेम जी जाली, पयलो टुर्नामेंट जालो इन इंडिया, दॅट टुर्नामेंट वॉज हेल्ड इन कॅलकटा समवेर इन 1871 and which was played between England and Scotland, Ireland and Wales, if I'm not wrong. एक सांग म्हाका तूं, आतां हो रग्बी खेळ कसो खेळटा, हेतून कितें कितें आसता, कितके प्लेयर लागता आनी बॉल कसलो लागता, हे मातशें तूं आमच्या सगळ्या पळोवप्यांक सांग.
रग्बी एक्चुअली दोन वर्जन्स आसा. एक रग्बी जे सगळ्यांक दिसता की आमी हो जो गेम खेळटलो इज व्हेरी फिजिकल, आमकां खूब मार पोसतलो. इट्स नॉट रियली ट्रू. कित्याक जशें आमी क्रिकेट खेळटा, आमी जेन्ना स्टार्ट करता क्रिकेट खेळपाचें, आमी केन्ना सिजन बॉलांतल्यान चालू करना. आमी टेनीस बॉलांतल्यान चालू करता, रबर बॉलांतल्यान चालू करता, एंड मागीर आमी प्रोग्रेस करता इन टू सिजन बॉल. एंड दॅट इज द सेम ऑफ रग्बी. जशें तूं कॅलकटा कप म्हणटा, द फॅक्ट्स आर एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. वी स्टार्टेड ऑफ विथ द कॅलकटा कप which till today still being played in Bombay and in Calcutta. आणि रग्बी जे आसा ते दोन वर्जन्स आसा. एक म्हणटा ते टच रग्बी आनी दुसरें म्हणटा ते कॉन्टॅक्ट रग्बी. आतां आमी जे गोंयान चालू केला, द वर्जन इज कॉल्ड टच रग्बी. टच इज व्हेरी सिंपल. जो मनीस धांवता, जर बॉल सोडपाक जाय तर दे हॅव टू जस्ट टच द प्लेयराक एकदां टच केल्यार बॉल सोडपाचें. सो हे गेमाक जे तुका खरें जाय इज स्पीड, एजिलिटी एंड कोऑर्डिनेशन ऑफ नोईंग वेर एक्झॅक्टली यू आर ऑन द फील्ड. आनी हे गेम इज व्हेरी सिंपल. यू नीड 6 players टू बी प्लेइंग. सो भुरगे आसा. It can be men's, we have a women's team, and it's one of the first sports Indian खंय आमचे कडेन mixed team आसा, where men and women play on the same field and they play versus each other. हे जेन्ना लोक शिकता, then they progress into a version called contact, जो सामको physical version आसा. आनी तेतून there are two types again, which is 7 people versus 7 people आणि 15 versus 15. They also have a 10 versus 10, but आता जो वर्ल्ड कप जालो इंग्लंडान was the 15 versus 15 contact rugby. But आमी जे चालू करता, वी हॅव डन इट विथ टच रग्बी, आनी इट्स ग्रेट बिकॉज इट्स फॉर ऑल एजेस. आमचो यंगेस्ट प्लेयर इज ऑलमोस्ट 3 years old आनी आमचो ओल्डेस्ट प्लेयर इज ऑलमोस्ट 79 years old.
तूं आतां गोंयान जे तुवें स्टार्ट केला तें टच रग्बी, आनी दुसरें तुवें म्हटलें पळय ती मातशी चड फिजिकली थंय मनीस चड बरो घट जाय पडटा. सो टच रग्बी एनीबडी कॅन प्ले, यू सेड, लायक 3 years up to 3 to
our oldest player is almost 79.
79. Even a person of 79 can play touch rugby.
Yes.
Goenkara Tuka Salaam. Goenkara Tuka Salaam. Goenkara Tuka Salaam. Goenkara Tuka Salaam.
अनिश, तुवें गोंयान रग्बी स्टार्ट केली, टच रग्बी. तुवें जेन्ना स्टार्ट केल्या तेन्नाच्यान आज पर्यंत तुका कितें रिजल्ट दिसता?
आमी जेन्ना स्टार्ट केलें, एक फ्रेंड आशिल्लो म्हाजो, ताचें नांव पीटर फर्नांडीस म्हणून, जो आतां गोंय रग्बीचो डेव्हलपमेंट ऑफिसर आसा, आनी ही इज ऑल्सो द डेव्हलपमेंट ऑफिसर ऑफ इंडिया. तो न्यूझिलंड आसतालो. आतां गोंयान इफ यू सी, देर आर नॉट मेनी पीपल हू न्यू दीस गेम इन जून 2014, जेन्ना आमी आमचो विजन रिस्टार्ट केलो. तो येवन म्हाका मेळ्ळो आनी सेड आतां न्यूझिलंडच्यान आयला इट्स द नॅशनल स्पोर्ट इन द कंट्री आमी वाय डोंट वी स्टार्ट दिस इन गोवा आतां आमी दोनूच मनीस आशिल्ले आमी दोगूच जाण आशिल्ले पूण आमकां एक कॉमन असो वी हॅड दिस वन फिलींग फ्रॉम विदीन आमी जे स्टार्ट करता वी शूड नॉट स्टॉप आनी अडचणी येवपाक इट कम्स इन एनीवेर इट कम्स इन स्पोर्ट इट कम्स इन लायफ बट सगळ्यांक सोल्युशन आसा एक्सेप्ट फॉर दॅट देर इज अ सोल्युशन टू एवरीथींग आनी वी कॅप ग्रोईंग वी कॅप मिटींग आमी डेली मिटींग करताले हेजे म्हाजे आईन सुद्दां म्हाका शिकयला की you need to sit every day across the table and come up with a vision. And ekda vision elar you can grow. And from 2 people in the first year, we had a tournament December and ho groundar zalo Fatlan, and we had a total of almost 1,000 professional players. Te disa je kheltale from over about 20-25 schools of Goa. And it kept growing. We are not a sport je ami marks diu shakta burgyank. We are not a sport where we can tell the child that we have a carrot for you. Please come and play the sport. We have just one thing, to ek asa love. Ami actually mog shikayta burgyank. And since it's a sport where there is love involved, the children at their age react to it. And we are going young. Ata Goan je talent asa, it exists from the age of, I would say, 3 years and 4 years old. It has to be nurtured till it gets older. And then automatically, log tuka, they give your everything. So as of today, we are in over 50 schools in Goa, with a reach of almost 30,000 burge. Almost 30,000 children have seen and visibly participated in some sort of form of the game. And as of right now, as we talk, we have more than 3,000 to 5,000 professional players that are playing the game, including if the camera moves into a background, there is a club from Talegaon, Santa Cruz and Mercedes, जे practice करता grounder for our upcoming tournament.
आणि तुवें ती एक तुजी आयडिया असली कितें तरी की फ्रँचायजी घेतलो तूं आणि जवळ जवळ 120 स्कुलांच्या भुरग्यांक घेतलो आणि 4 म्हयन्या भितर तूं 12,000 भुरग्यांक ट्रेन करतलो हें तुजें खंय पावलां
It's accomplished. We have accomplished our dream. Also, कितें जाला की we have got a lot of support from foreigners. आता Goa is a place which has a lot of retired expat crowd जे गोंयान रावता. A lot of people come into Goa. It's हो जो डेस्टिनेशन आसा आमकां चड मार्केट करपाक गरज ना. Because people already love it from all around the world. आता जे वेस्टर्नर्स आसा तांकां ही गेम ऑलरेडी खबर आहा आनी आमी तांकां रीच आउट केलें की तुमी जेन्ना गोंय येतले तुमी जेन्ना गोंयान रिटायर करतले तुमी जेन्ना हॉलिडेक येतले गेट इन टच विथ अस आमचे जे सोशल कनेक्शन्स आसा सोशल मिडियाचेर इज very strong and that is the best way for us to connect with foreigners including je Goans bahar rauta they have helped us a lot in this game by giving us willing donations from their heart and support from their heart saying we are a part of you and it also team ami ektai kela of Goans abroad of foreigners outside Goa foreigners inside Goa have helped us a lot to spread this game ata he je franchises ami je plan kelele we have launched this year 2 leagues दोन league launch केला एक Goa schools touch league म्हणून for touch rugby in schools आणि दुसरो जो लीग आसा ताका GTL म्हणटा म्हणजे गोवा टच लीग फॉर ऑल द सिनियर्स जे 17-18 years ओवर and it's reached a finale it's reached its final conclusion जे आता आमी नॉकआउट चल्ला हे दिसांनी सगळे स्कुलांचे सगळे सिनियर टिमाचे नॉकआउट चल्ला आणि डिसेंबर 27 ISL मागीर आफ्टर FC Goa plays at the stadium which we all support कित्याक at the end of the day it's Goa जे स्पोर्ट चल्ला गोवा and we all Goans have to come out to support the sport we play our match there आणि इतलें म्हणून फेमस जाला आमचो स्पोर्ट गोंयान की आमकां चॅलेंज केला UAE टिमान द UAE इज द मिडल ईस्ट टीम दॅट प्लेड द टच रग्बी वर्ल्ड कप दिस एप्रिल इन ऑस्ट्रेलिया and they reached as far as even the last stages of the tournament and they beat some top countries they drew with some top western countries
so now you say that your team is going to play with UAE team
in fact it's an honor because it's the first time that a country is not playing versus a country but a country is playing versus a state which just shows ki amche itle ekteपणा goan the strength is so strong in Goa ata we don't know what's going to happen at the match ami jitu shakta we might lose the match we might draw the match but that is secondary our whole point is we have got international recognition log bailan yeta they want to play versus us and it's a great honor आणि आम्ही जो टीम सिलेक्ट करता तो 6 डिसेंबराचेर सिलेक्शन जावपाक and I would be very proud to say that I myself am an international player how UAE टीमाचेर खेळला last year in the club tournament जे आम्ही सिल्वर मेडल जिखले वर्ल्डान I have decided not to play for the Goa team म्हणजे to put forward that the children of Goa or the people of Goa will now represent the state जे आमी visionaries आसा will always be backing them but we want them to step out onto the field कित्याक आमी फिल्डार step out जाल्यार but it's very important that Goa now takes charge कित्याक तसोच आमचो टॉर्च फुडें व्हरतले भुरगे आमचे
Goenkara Tuka Salaam Goenkara Tuka Salaam Goenkara Tuka Salaam Goenkara Tuka Salaam
अनीश, तुवें जेन्ना हे गेमीचें गोंयान प्रमोशन स्टार्ट केलें, वॉट आर द चॅलेंजीस दॅट यू फेस्ड?
सगळे चॅलेंजूच आशिल्ले. आतां सुद्दां चॅलेंजीस आमकां खूब आसा. द मेन चॅलेंज आसा आमचें की लोकांक अवेरनेस नाशिल्लो गेमाचो. टीव्हीचेर दाखयनाशिल्ले ही गेम. पूण लोकांची जी इच्छा आशिल्ली वॉज टू लर्न अ न्यू स्पोर्ट, वॉज टू लर्न फ्रॉम पीपल हू वॉन्टेड टू स्प्रेड लव. आनी तो आमचो मेन, दॅट इज आवर मेन थिंग. ताका लागून आमी एक प्रोजेक्ट लॉन्च केलो आनी तो प्रोजेक्टाचें नांव आतां गोवा आमचें. अँड गोवा आमचें इज द प्रोजेक्ट दॅट डेवलप्स रग्बी इन गोवा.
गोवा आमचे, गोवा आमची,
गोवा आमचे, गोवा आमचे, गोवा आमचे,
चॅलेंजीस खूब आशिल्ले. पूण गव्हर्मेंट जो आशिल्लो, वी नेवर वेंट टू द गव्हर्मेंट सेईंग आमकां ग्रावंड ना, आमकां पयशे ना, आमकां हें ना, आमकां तें ना. आमचे कडेन मोग आसा. वी हॅव लव अँड आमकां फक्त तुमचो सपोर्ट जाय की तुमी आमच्या फाटल्यान रावा. वी विल गो अहेड विथ आवर प्रोफेशनलिझम आनी आमी तो गेम टीच करतलो.
अनीश पळय, तूं एकटोच फुडें सरलो आनी रग्बी स्पोर्ट्स फ्रॉम आउट ऑफ नोवेअर तुवें तो फॉरेनांतल्यान गोंयान हाडलो आनी तूं स्वता प्रमोट करता. आतां तुका हितून सरकाराचो कितको हातभार मेळ्ळो?
खूपच. आय वूड लायक टू इनफॅक्ट हायलायट अ सर्टन जेंटलमॅन नेम मिस्टर अण्णा प्रभुदेसाय, जो DSYचो आतां डिरेक्टर आसा, इन्क्लुडींग मिस्टर संदीप जाक्स, इज डिरेक्टर ऑफ SAG. they were very strong in my growth. I mean, आणि माझा जो growth झालो, I would say it's not me alone who brought rugby to Goa. It was a group of visionaries जे आम्ही formulate केले. माझो backing आशिल्लो तेंका, तेंचो backing आशिल्लो म्हाका, आणि government माझ्या फाटल्यान रावले. They gave us the grounds, they gave us permission to talk to the schools. आमकां permission दिले PE टिचराक मेळून, आणि आमकां कळलें की PE टिचराचे इतलो लोड आसा, स्पोर्ट्साचो इतलो लोड आसा आतां की आनी एक स्पोर्ट तांकां दिवपाक म्हणजे आनी परत लोड वाडटलो तेंचेर. सो वी मेड देम आवर फ्रेंड्स. जे PE टिचर आसा आमी फ्रेंड केले तांकां. तेंचे we actually connected with them. We went to the schools. We decided to form coaches of our volunteers and teach in the schools jenna time free metlo. So the government saw visible progress, including Mr. Bhakta, who is the secretary of the Goa Olympics Association. Mr. Gurudat Bhakta was very supportive. He was very supportive. The moment we met, we connected at the next level. Kidak amso jo Modi jo ichha ashilo was for sport. At the end of the day, I might be a rugby player, but in my heart I'm a fan of every sport. And at the end of the day, I'm Goans. We are Goans, and जर गोवा वाडटा in any sport, it is a victory for all of us. जशें आतां स्टेडियम FC गोवान इतलो सपोर्ट मेळटा प्लेयर्साक, it's a great victory for all of us. कित्याक at the end of the day, Goa is known on the world map. Once Goa is known on the world map, everyone rises, and we see that as unity. आणि तेच आमी भुरग्यांक शिकयता ग्राउंडार.
Goenkara Tuka Salaam, Goenkara Tuka Salaam, Goenkara Tuka Salaam, Goenkara Tuka Salaam.
In next 5 years, तुवें आतां प्रमोशन स्टार्ट केल्लें आसा, बट इन नेक्स्ट 5 years, where do you see rugby in Goa?
म्हाका एक्चुअली हो line, I learned this line from our great Prime Minister, Mr. Modi ji, when he was asked the same question in the US. Where do you see India in the next 5 years? And he म्हणले, हांव चाय विकून वयर रायला. When I used to sell tea, I don't know where I would reach. So that's the same thing with me. I have a ball in the hand today. आणि माझ्या फाटल्यान भुरगे आसा, माझ्या फाटल्यान लोक आसा. And all that I see is a united Goa. जे म्हाका दिसता is a new Goa, is a new model that we can spread to the country, where sports teaches us. जे sports आमकां इतले शिकयता की तो स्प्रेड जातलो. आणि हो जो गेम आसा, I can guarantee you की आमी पार्टनरशिप्स डेवलप करता इवन विदिन द स्टेट विथ अदर स्पोर्ट्स बॉडीज. जर मनीस फुटबॉल खेळटा, और इफ द गर्ल प्लेज हँडबॉल और क्रिकेट, इट डजंट मीन दॅट दे डोंट प्ले द स्पोर्ट. हो जो गेम आसा कॅन इवन बी पार्ट ऑफ देयर फिटनेस before their main game, and I see it growing. I see it definitely growing. कित्याक माझी जी टीम आसा of visionaries is amazing. It's amazing. आमी एकूच दीस ना आमचो की जेन्ना आमी हॉलिडे सुद्दां आसता, आमकां कॉल येताच. I cannot put my phone off. कित्याक हांव जर बसला आनी फोन वाजल्यार we have to sit and talk of the game. So the growth is amazing. There's one more thing I would like to highlight. आतां 2019 and Touch Rugby World Cup म्हणून आहा Malaysian, and we are very proud to say that with our efforts we have we have become the blue-eyed boys of the international federation, जे Federation of International Touch म्हणून आहा. आणि they are in touch with us, and we are almost there. And we are, I would say, about 3 months or 6 months away from getting an official letter saying that India as a country has qualified to play the Touch Rugby World Cup in Malaysia in 2019. And this is all because of development. We worked as a team. आता म्हाका promotion म्हणून केला as the national vice president of India Rugby. Frankly, म्हाका हे जे promotions दिता, it's a great feeling within, but it's not something, the tag which I like to carry and boast about. कित्याक आमचे जे development जाता, it has to be seen on the ground. Whether I'm the Indian Rugby vice president or whether I'm the Indian Rugby office boy, it doesn't matter. It has to come from our heart. जे भुरगे आसा, they will talk for us. जे performance आसा, that will talk for us. And it will be a great moment जेन्ना I can officially announce that in 2019, India will be playing a representation at the Touch Rugby World Cup, and Goa will be our official training center for the whole country.
आता अनिशाक एक हांव प्रश्न विचारता. अनिश जो आयला तो ही इज कमिंग फ्रॉम अ फॅमिली विथ बिजनेस बॅकग्रावंड आणि अनिशान स्वता जावन 2 मास्टर्स डिग्री केल्या. वन इज इन एंटरप्रेन्युरशीप इन फायनान्स मॅनेजमेंट आणि हें इतकें सगळें करून सुद्दां तूं बिजनेसान वचचो सोडून तूं स्पोर्ट्सान गेलो.
हय, एक्चुअली हांवें कितें केलां की आमचो एक कंपनी आसा, तेजें नांव आहा बँकवेट स्पोर्ट्स. तुका एक्चुअली बॉलर दिसता. इट्स द नेम ऑफ द कंपनी वीच आय हॅव को फाउंडेड. आतां बँकवेट स्पोर्ट्स जो कंपनी आसा डज 8 टायप्स ऑफ डेव्हलपमेंट इन स्पोर्ट्स, फ्रॉम ग्रासरूट डेव्हलपमेंट टू मर्चेंडायज डेव्हलपमेंट टू एड्युकेशन टू लॉट्स ऑफ थिंग्स. सो and the main core of the business is hospitality, जे आमी sports hospitality म्हणून करूंक शकता. आता it's great to be born in a family that has a strong root and footing in business, but it's even better when you help the family create a parallel business that grows. आता sports also अजून is not a business, it's not something which is giving us a regular income, but आमचो दीस कसो चालू जाता. आमी 4:30 उठता सकाळचे, 5 पर्यंत आमी ग्राउंडार पावता. 5 ते 8, 9 पर्यंत we are teaching on the ground. By 9:30 latest, we are all back in the office. आमी ऑफिसान बसून we are thinking of different ideas. We are thinking of ideas how to create employment for this youth that we have reached out to. आता गोंयान कितें जाता, after the standard of 12th standard, a lot of children drop out. ते फुडें शिकना, ते फुडें काम करना, most of them. So we are trying to get that unity where we can even provide them an employment, whether the employment is in the form of sport, whether that employment is in the form of business. I'm trying to help that as well. जर मांडवीन चेंज जालो, it might give us an avenue to employ these children we reach out to, because it's amazing when you see it on the field. So today, I would say, from a business family, we've grown into, of about 10 people, we've grown into a business family of about 30,000 people today, which is a great feeling for all of us. आता हे जे भुरगे आसा ग्राउंडार, they would never learn business at an early age. They would never learn philosophies of life. जे तुम्ही शिकता, the love, the sort of respect, the sort of enjoyment that you have, how कसो related म्हणून आसा to your life, to your business, to your career. आमी हे सगळे तांकां every morning शिकयता. मागीर आमी ऑफिसान आसता 4 पर्यंत, तेजे मागीर परत सांजचे ग्राउंडार वयता. So that 10 AM to 4 PM slot, when we are actually supposed to be working, we are all really still in the office. तेजे पयलीं, तेजे मागीर we are on the ground. But we don't forget the fact that today, of course, we all need to earn our daily bread. I mean, also from the children, we've come up with a very innovative idea that we will charge you only 100 rupees for the whole year to undergo a development, which is very affordable, which most of us think, but still it's not affordable to most. And तांकां आमी installment scheme दिला, 10 रुपया per month into 10 months, so you can complete it. आणि अशें म्हणून कित्याक केलां आमी, that they feel that sort of respect coming from within, that we are attending a training camp which we feel we should avail full services. And that's how life grows, that's how people grow, and that's how Goa will grow eventually.
Goenkara Tuka Salaam. Goenkara Tuka Salaam. Goenkara Tuka Salaam. Goenkara Tuka Salaam.
अनिश, तुवें जेन्ना पयले फावट ह्या रग्बीचें प्रमोशन गोंयान स्टार्ट केलें, तें तुवें खंय स्टार्ट केलें? कॉलेजीन केलें, स्कुलान केलें, खंयच्या क्लबा कडेन केलें, खंयसर स्टार्ट केलें?
2011 actually, when the India Rugby had approached me, we had decided to start off with a tournament, a contact rugby tournament ashilo Goan, and it schoolan kela ami. And the following year after that, in June 2012, was when we decided to start the game in schools. I mean, we said we start from the young level, because it is an evolution. It is not something, when you teach someone to walk, you don't teach them to walk from the age of 18. You teach them to walk from the age of 1, or from the age of 2. So we did the same thing with sport. I mean, young gala, we decided to teach them that at a young age. पूण 2012 म्हाजो एक्सिडेंट जालो. I met with an accident and I was off the scene of the sports scene for almost 2 years. I had an amazing team of medicals and amazing team of doctors, and they म्हाका सदां hope दित आसले that you will come back. It was a very bad injury. They said you will come back, and I kept believing in myself. I kept believing in the people who were attached to me in my life that I will come back in life. And in 2014 when I went for my medical review and they said you are now fit to actually step onto the field, we decided to first re-correct the mistakes जे आम्ही 2012 केले, that I was the only one who knew the game. So we decided to make many more people know the game who are capable of teaching. तर आम्ही कितें केलें 2014? We got together the PE teachers. We got together a group of volunteers. आणि first step आम्ही जे केलें is we had a great support from a club called Khelo Rugby and Jungle Crows, which is based in Calcutta, who's headed by Mr. Paul Walsh, who sent down a couple of coaches to assist me, teach this game to the Goans. आणि we created a panel of almost 60 to 70 coaches in Goa on day one. And magir they went out back to their areas, back to their schools, back to their villages, back to their districts, back to their communities, who then started teaching the game. And magir ami monitor kele sogle. And from here it started going down from the top to the bottom, and everyone started reacting to the game. And this is how we actually started the game of rugby, by first teaching volunteers what the game is all about. म्हणजे माझ्यावर लोड गेलो. The load that we had, that I was the only one who knew rugby or I was the only one who was capable of teaching it, had now left. That was now a myth, and we grew the sport from there.
अनिश, हांव म्हणटा कितें की तूं ह्या गेमी विशीं इन डिटेल सारकें साद्या एका कॉमन मनशाक कळटलें अशे भाशेन ही गेम पयल्यान पयलीं खंयसर कशी ओरिजिनेट जाली आनी मागीर इंडियेक कशी पावली, एक सगळ्या कॉमन मनशाक कळटा अशे भाशेन सांग.
आता हे गेम जे आसा ते इंग्लंडान चालू केला. इट स्टार्टेड इन इंग्लंड बाय दिस जेंटलमॅन नेम मिस्टर विलियम वेब एलिस. आता इट्स व्हेरी सिंपल. तो फुटबॉल गेम खेळटालो. ही वॉज प्लेइंग अ गेम ऑफ फुटबॉल, आनी तो धांवतना ही सॉ द गोल पोस्ट आनी रियलायज ते मातशें पयस आसा, आनी तेजें फ्रस्ट्रेशन येलें की आय कॅनॉट टेक द बॉल विथ माय फीट अँड स्कोर इट इन द गोल. तेका लागून तो बॉल हातान धरलो and तो goalan jump मारलो. He jumped in the goal. So people started staring at him, and obviously it was disallowed as a goal. But from there the concept of why don't we play this sport with a ball in the hand instead of a ball at our feet arised. And that's how the game grew. And when obviously the British came to India and they were here in the country, that's how the game spread zalo, which started off in Calcutta, spread off to Bombay.
Yeah, and that is somewhere in 1871. Correct. During British time in Calcutta.
British rule. That's because the game is British, the game is from England, and it was brought to go to India then. So that's how the game chalu zala. And then from there onwards the versions started coming out. The invention was created, but then the innovation had to come about. So innovation to spread the game to different communities of the world. आणि तसो म्हणून गेम आयला. आता जो टच रग्बी, which I would like to talk about, is a very simple game. तेतून there are 6 players on one side, 6 players on the other side. आणि आमचो जो फील्ड डिमेन्शन आसा, it's 70 meters by 50 meters, म्हणजे within a football ground. आणि हो बॉल आसा, you have to take the ball, you have to run with the ball. आणि जर मनशाक तुवें टच केल्यार he has to put the ball down and the next player collects. अशें तुका 6 chances आसा. आणि एंड जे लायन आसा तो ट्राय लायन म्हणून म्हणटा. And you have to try dodging the players, crossing the line and putting the ball down.
हे 6 चान्सीस जे आसा म्हणटा पळय, ह्या 6 चान्सा भितर तुवें बॉल हो गोलान मारूंक जाय.
हय, तो लायन आसा थंय तेका ट्राय लायन म्हणटा. आमचे वी डोंट हॅव अ डेजिग्नेटेड गोल, सो यू हॅव टू cross and zigzag and go past the players and then put the ball down. That gives you 1 point, or rather it's called 1 try. आणि 3 types of teams asa. Boys team asa with 6 boys versus 6 boys, girls 6 girls versus 6 girls, and a mixed team म्हणून asa, which is 3 boys and 3 girls versus 3 boys and 3 girls. So it teaches us a lot of I would say community relations where we actually connect.
Do you mean to say that at the game खेळटासतना हे गेमीन the number of players will always not remain the same, or it can vary from time to time? Like the footballan कशें आसता 11 player आसता, 11 one side, 11 दुसऱ्या साइडीक. आणि रग्बीन this rule is not applicable all the times.
It depends on the version you play. Ata I'm specifically focusing on the version of touch rugby. Touch rugby is a version and it's always 6 versus 6. Jar ami beacher gele, it's difficult to play on that bigger dimension on the beach kidak you lose your fitness, you lose your energy. So then we come down to 3 versus 3 or 5 versus 5. But the internationally recognized format of touch rugby is 6 versus 6 players. And contact rugby, which is a completely different sport, is 15 versus 15 or 7 versus 7. At the end of the day, we are all playing the same rules. We have to hold the ball, we can never pass the ball forward, we have to always pass the ball backwards. But the game of touch, because it involves speed and agility and trying to find the gap, because so tuka matso sudha touch laglo, you have to leave the ball, which means you have to completely use your mind. It's a game where you play with your mind rather than with your body, and eventually when your mind starts developing, your body starts adjusting to your mind, and you then create the perfect balance between the mind and the body.
Goenkara Tuka Salaam. Goenkara Tuka Salaam. Goenkara Tuka Salaam. Goenkara Tuka Salaam.
And Anish, तुका हाणी एक विचारता प्रश्न आता तुका जे रिस्पॉन्स मेळटा खूब भुरगे तुजे कडेन आतां आयले ही गेम खेळटा तुवें म्हटलें की 34,000 you have achieved 34,000 you said
Almost 30,000 plus people
30
who've seen this game, who
Yeah.
attended our presentations, who
Yeah.
attended our educational classes of promoting this game.
Yeah. आता एक सांग म्हाका ही गेम खेळ्या उपरांत आतां अशें म्हणटा की फुटबॉल जेन्ना आमी खेळटा किंवा कबड्डी खेळटा किंवा खंयचीय गेम खेळटा ते फिजिकल गेन जे जाता पळय ते फुटबॉलाचे गेमीन आनी हे गेमीन कितके फिजिकल गेम भुरग्याक जाता
It's the same. It's the same. I mean, actually, physical jasa, the moment you step out onto the field, any field, you have to be fit. You cannot step out onto the field till you're not fit. Go and marathons, they've started catching up. People have started attending this fitness, which is amazing for all of us. We are tied up with some great companies. We're tied up with, top professional dietitians, a nutritionist, okay, who have been very supportive. Ho game asa amcho, it starts from the kitchen and it ends on the field. Okay, and I mean, 80% of what is achieved on the field.
Exactly, what do you mean when you say it starts from kitchen and ends at the field?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. That 80% of our performance depends on what the person eats. 80% of our performance depends on where they are raised, their family background. Zar garan zagdi zalar with their parents, so if they have an issue with their teachers, it directly shows on the field. So 20% is what the outcome that we can provide is what we can do on the field through our professionalism. But 80% depends on the upbringing and what they do behind our back, which is what we try to teach on the field. In fact, there's a very interesting story which I would like to share. There was a parent who came to me saying, I cannot handle my child. It's becoming difficult for us as parents to manage this child. Can you do something about it? Ata the parents said divorce जावपाचे actually, because one was saying, I cannot handle my child, you take him and go. The other one was saying, I cannot handle my child, you take him and go. So I said, send them to the field. Send the child to the field and let him be a part of us and let us teach him the meaning of relation on the field with your teammates and how common that is with your real relation, which is your own parents. And that same child today who would be naughty, who would actually not help out at home, wakes up before his parents and cooks their breakfast. So it starts from there, it starts on the field. So hedge 20%, I thought 80-20 rule asa. Sachin Tendulkar, as we all know, is one of the greatest sportsmen ever who has highlighted India. But people would say there were 10 more players on the team. But what you don't understand is that performance of his is equal to 80% performance result of the whole team. So that's what we do. Jar amche hatin sudha fakt 20% asa to help the child. We know that 20%, if taught well, can influence the other 80% of his life. And as someone said, in fact, Mr. Rajan Bab of RDX Media, as he said when he met me, that you all meet the child at the most important time of the day. That's when they just wake up. And at that point of time, if you can show positivity, teach positivity and spread positivity, it filters to the rest of the day. And if anything goes wrong, by the time it goes wrong, you'll have met them again the next morning.
तुवें आतां जें एक उदाहरण दिलें पळय एग्जांपल की जो भुरगो आपल्या आवय बाबाय कडेन मॅनेज जायनासलो आनी त्या भुरग्याक you took over him and he started cooking breakfast before parents woke up.
Correct.
So
For
this
his
was this was a tremendous change in the character of that person who would not go along with the parents.
Absolutely.
Anish, म्हाका एक सांग हें तुवें स्पोर्ट्स प्रोफेशन चूज केलें आनी हातून तुजो डॅडी मम्मी आनी तुज्या घरा कडेन लोकांनी तुका ऑब्जेक्शन घेतलें ना कांयच अजिबात
Not at all. Not at all. In fact, my daddy jo asa, he goes to the gym regularly. So does my own mother. And I have learned a lot from them. Just that the 80% of what you are as a human comes from your own home. And they are great sportsmen themselves. Recently I got to know that my father has won more medals than many athletes in Goa. And he thought the pictures maka mamin recently dakhilay. So it's a great feeling that sport comes from the home. And anyone is a sportsman, and a sportsman doesn't just come from outdoor activity. Jar तुझ्या हातीन घीचो डब्बो असल्यार and you decide not to eat it कित्याक तूं मोठो म्हणून जातलो, that makes you a sportsman straight away, which means you're taking care of your body. So sport is something which comes from the mind. Sport is something which makes आमी sport म्हणून म्हणटा. जर तूं स्कुलान चलता and one child falls आनी तूं तेका वयर उखल्लो, you become a sport. You become a sport straight away. So being a sportsman or being a part of sport is a culture. Also culture asa exists in us already. but to find that culture is the job of professionals to actually make you realize that it is already in you. We are here to help you bring it out. And the sportsman's job is to react and respond to what we are trying to teach. So we all work as a team. So my family has been extremely supportive. So has my mom, so has my dad, so has been everyone related to my family and a part of my family who have touched my family's life, whose lives we touch. And I would say I'm fortunate and privileged to be raised in a family like this. So it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling.
आता तूं एक सांग म्हाका की तूं आतां आमच्या गोंयच्या भुरग्यांक आनी तांच्या आवय बापायक एक मॅसेज कितें दिवंक सोदता?
हय, जो मॅसेज म्हाका दिवपाक जाय एक्चुअली पेरंट्साक आनी भुरग्यांक की आमी जे स्पोर्ट आसा इल गिव यू अ लॉट ऑफ एड्युकेशन, इल टीच यू अ लॉट. तुम्ही ग्राउंडार या हो बॉल धरा हातीन. तुम्ही जे प्रॉब्लेम्स आसा तुमचे जे तुमकां इश्यूज आसा लायफान ते आमचे कडेन हाडा अँड वी वूड लायक टू हेल्प यू, वी वूड लायक टू टीच यू. आमी तुमकां एक्सपिरियन्स दिवपाक जाय की जो स्पोर्ट आसा, जो स्पोर्ट्स द गेम ऑफ स्पोर्ट, वेदर इट इज नॉट जस्ट रग्बी, आमी जे फुटबॉल आसा, क्रिकेट आसा, स्विमींग आसा, जायते म्हणा एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ स्पोर्ट, अंडरस्टँड करा की हे कितें म्हणून शिकयता तुका. इट्स अ टीम गेम आसा. जर सोलो गेम सुद्दां आसा, इवन इफ यू आर प्लेइंग एथलेटिक्स, ट्राय एंड अंडरस्टँड तुजो परफॉर्मन्स करता, परफॉर्मन्स फक्त तुजे कडल्यान येना. इट कम्स फ्रॉम युअर कोचेस, इट कम्स फ्रॉम युअर फॅन्स, इट कम्स फ्रॉम people around the world who are supporting you. And ho same message gora asa, tu jo asa burgo, you as a child are not what you are because of you. Tuje parents an effort kela bhitar, their parents have put in effort to raise them, tuje friends efforts karta tuje barobar, it's the environment, it's your school, it's your teachers. Let's all get together. Kidak at the end of the day we all have to remember Goa amche, ami एकठांय जावंक जाय सगळे आनी जेन्ना आमी एकठांय जातले तेन्ना गोवा वाडटले. Come to the field, I promise you we will rise as one, we will rise as Goa.